Hello everyone and welcome here to the all new 2026 Cadillac Vistiq. And I've been waiting to get my hands on this hot new SUV from the Cadillac lineup for quite some time now. And we have it in the sport trim. There's a few trims of Vistiq. There's like a luxury, sport, premium luxury, and a platinum version. Sport and the entry-level luxury are both the sort of entry-level versions. I wouldn't really call them entry level because the amount of features you get as standard and the price this thing does cost is pretty nuts. Actually, the price isn't so crazy, but the amount of features you get standard is pretty nice. We have things like soft closed doors, standard Super Cruise, standard massaging seats, multi-function seats as well. We have this gorgeous aluminum trim in here. Really, honestly, really impressive ambient lighting. There's even ambient lighting in the roof. You don't see that too much. Carbon fiber-esque trim with this cool kind of copper stitching throughout it. And if you go for the luxury trims or the white interior on this model, you get this really amazing wood. Everything feels really well built in here. I love this little kind of pilot screen down here. We just got out of the one of the competitors of this vehicle, the Lucid Gravity. This also had a kind of pilot screen. This is a little bit smaller, but we got haptic feedback on here. Not as much information, but I really do like the screen quite a lot as well, just in general. But overall, this interior is really nice. This car is really, really amazing and gorgeous. And we're gonna go take this out on a drive. We have a lot of power, over 600 horsepower, over 600 pound-feet of torque. If you've watched our Lyriq V video, this is pretty much a very similar powertrain to that, just in a larger overall vehicle. We'll get into more of that as we start driving, but nonetheless, let's head off. I'm gonna turn on my ventilated seats and not the massage right now. We have our gear selector right up here as usual. Going to drive, going into reverse, pops up our really crystal clear 360 cameras. You can hear the exterior humming sound as well. Great camera systems on this Vistiq. And let's head off. I believe it's still in sport mode from the last time I drove the vehicle, so it does hold the drive modes, which is great to see, though we can change that pretty easily from the infotainment screen right here. We have Tour, Snow Ice, My Mode, and Sport. And there is a difference between Sport and Tour. The steering in Sport, I actually really prefer a lot better than in Tour. In Tour, that's pretty much just the normal comfort mode of this vehicle, but the steering is very Cadillac in that nature. It's very soft, it's very light, but has a really nice weighting to it. But you are noticing there's not as much artificial heft baked into the steering. Sport definitely stiffens it up artificially, but I actually really like how it feels. I think they did a good job at that. I believe this has adaptive dampers on this one, so that also is adjusted quite a little bit there. Coming to a stop is very smooth in the Vistiq. I've noticed a few little weird drivetrain things when coming to a stop or accelerating really quickly in this vehicle this week, in very rare occasions, and it's really under aggressive situations, but it's really nothing that bad, and I've honestly seen it in a few other EVs as well. We also have our awesome regen paddle on the left here, which I could also use to bring us to a stop. And the great thing is when you use that to bring yourself to a stop, it automatically applies the auto brake hold as well, which is really great. But you can actually turn that on independently of that system in this vehicle, which is also quite nice. And around town, this car is just amazing. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it's smooth. It really does a great job at isolating the world out. Really great job with that. Not as quiet as the Gravity, actually, we just came out of from Lucid, but it's really close to that. Really, really close. This has a 0.29 drag coefficient, where that SUV has a 0.24, I believe. So not as aerodynamically efficient, but pretty good for such a large vehicle. This is much taller, much boxier. It has that more traditional SUV design. Visibility in the Vistiq is also really good. You have a lot of seat adjustability, so you can sit tall, you can sit low, whatever really works for you. I have noticed that this is not my favorite implementation of Cadillac's curved display panel here. I'm having some issues this whole week with seeing the entire display through the steering wheel. It was much better placed in the Lyriq, I think, as well as in the Optic. This one's a little bit funky, kind of reminds me of the CT5's placement of this pretty much same screen. Just hear very quiet motor whir in the distance. We can turn on and off one pedal driving as well, and you have a few other regenerative braking modes as well. You can also just shut it off and kind of coast, which is great. I have a digital rear view camera in this one, and we'll pop it into sport just for a second here. And we'll turn it into our V mode we have on the steering wheel here, and that unlocks the full power, which is quite nice. So you get that full 615 horsepower here. That is really impressive. Now, we just came out of the Lyriq V, which we had last month, and it feels almost just as quick as that vehicle, which is pretty crazy. It's very similar powertrain in that aspect here. So that's quite nice to see. Now, the thing about this car and the Lyriq is that they actually share the exact same wheelbase. They're overall really similar underneath. It's this Vistiq, though, is stretched out a lot further on the outsides of the wheelbase. So on the overhangs, we have more room in the back to fit that third row that we have in this particular vehicle, and to get you a little bit more rear cargo space. And the front end, it's a lot of the visual design elements to kind of make it that boxy, muscular stance. So very similar vehicle to the Lyriq, but it does feel very different to drive. The acceleration feels quite similar, but this is definitely noticeably taller. Again, noticeably feels a little bit wider and bigger overall as a vehicle. And the suspension systems are quite different here. So we have an adaptive damper with coil springs as standard, though if you go up to, I believe, a premium luxury, for example, you get rear wheel steering and adaptive air suspension. So it's kind of blending the worlds here between Lyriq and Escalade quite well. Again, this is a 3-row vehicle. It's a little bit larger than XT6, for example. So if you're looking for an upgrade and you want to be electric from XT6, this is a pretty good area to look at. Or if you don't want to go all the way up to Escalade now, you have a really great offering here in this new Vistiq. Whoa. Yeah, that surge of power is really impressive here. Acceleration is never going to be an issue in this car whatsoever. And this is the standard output of power range you'll be getting in the Vistiq. Really impressive stuff here, Cadillac. Really like to see that. And this car feels, and I said this in the Lyriq V, it feels very German. It almost feels very a blend of like Mercedes and Audi nowadays. And that is not a downside or a bad thing to say whatsoever. That just really goes to show how high a quality standard Cadillac has leveled themselves up to recently, how well they've been tuning the drivetrains and everything, the tech integration, the storage solutions, the whole experience really is top notch. This is a serious contender in this class, so do not overlook it. I think it's a really good buy, and with over around 300 miles of range, EPA rated, pretty good range numbers as well. I haven't been super efficient this week. I've gotten 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Again, I have not been driving super calm. I've been enjoying the power, but if you're driving pretty normally, you can probably expect around 260 to 300 miles of range, depending on your driving style here. And of course, we have a fully digital gauge cluster up here that we can configure between like an energy gauge here, assist. You can pull up Google Maps as well, or just keep it up as a more traditional style gauge. Body control is pretty good in the corners. It's definitely a heavy vehicle. You're always going to notice that. It's not a handling car. The Lyriq V shocked me in how it could actually handle, but you know, they did a lot of chassis stiffening to make that happen. Specific brakes, specific wheels, tires, all that stuff to really give that almost V Sport experience. This is a more very nice, luxurious family hauling vehicle, really strong competitor to things like Volvo's EX90, you know, maybe some of the newer entry-level variants of Lucid Gravity that are coming out. If you want something more traditional shaped, this could be potentially a good option for you. And it also is kind of in a class of its own right now. The Tesla Model X is being discontinued, and I think overall this is a pretty compelling choice over a Model X. And we have some more of the more entry-level mainstream variants, such as a Hyundai Ioniq 9 or a Kia EV9, which we tested 2 years ago now as well. So there's a limited amount of offerings in this segment here, but they're all pretty around a similar-ish area in terms of range. So this is definitely delivering more luxury overall features, and as well as that general performance, which is pretty nice to see. Okay, folks, we're about to head out here onto the highway in just a second. And to do so, we'll come to a stop here at our light, and we'll pop it right back into sport mode for you. Get a little bit of a taste of this acceleration one more time, because it is quite exhilarating in this Vistiq. We'll pop it into our V Max mode as well to get all of that power out of this vehicle. And You can also play around with a lot of the screens and settings in here, tire pressure monitoring system, energy info showing where all of your energy is going throughout the vehicle, and even an air quality sensor, which is quite nice to see. And you can adjust all of your ambient lighting on the fly really easily as well. Lots of apps you can download. We even have built-in ways and stuff. Like, as I said, this vehicle does not have CarPlay or Android Auto, unfortunately, so you're just going to be using the built-in Google-based system here that we're very familiar with at Cadillac. Okay, guys, let's head out onto the highway. Just have a listen to the sound that Cadillac pumps into the cabin here. It's quite interesting. Oh, it's got 400 kilowatts to the wheels, it looks like we just put down. Pretty nice to see. But yeah, this thing has a brutal acceleration, so even if you have people in the third row, they may get a little sick. And I have noticed this now, actually, in a few of the General Motors EVs, is some of my passengers, when I bring them around, feel a little ill, so I actually end up turning off one pedal drive, or even the regen in general, and just kind of do the braking myself, either with the paddle or the actual brake pedal, which blends the regen and the actual friction brakes. I'm not too sure why. It might just be the force of the regenerative braking that's happening, but I have heard that complaint. I, as a driver, do not feel that, though. I feel quite secure and comfortable here. Now, on the highway, acceleration's really great in this vehicle. Again, not a handling vehicle, but overall it is a very comfortable, luxurious car, and that it does quite well. We'll pop it back into its regular touring mode for the highway here, so we don't need to be using all of our power. And of course, we get standard Super Cruise on this vehicle, and this is the top tier, latest generation of Super Cruise that we just experienced in the Lyriq V. And on the left hand side of our steering wheel, we turn on adaptive cruise with the bottom right button. Then we set our speed right here, and then we can turn on Super Cruise with the little button to the top left with the steering wheel. And voila, that's it. We have our infrared sensors in the steering wheel, and up here monitoring our eyes to make sure we're paying attention on the road, and it is, yes, safe to take our hands off the wheel in this situation. Now, if you do go for something like a premium luxury here, you can see it's trying to do an auto lane change, but deactivated it so it doesn't just sit here with its blinker on. If you go for a premium luxury, for example, we have a heads-up display in front of us here that now does augmented reality heads-up display information, and we saw that in the Lyriq V, and that was awesome to see. It really works with the Google Maps system built in and your Super Cruise systems, which is really great. And this also has Super Cruise on navigation, so it will kind of move you over to the lanes that your exit's in if you're using the Google navigation system, which is really great. And it also now has the newer feature that we've seen on a few new General Motors vehicles, where it does Super Cruise hands on. So it's really just full lane centering, lane keep, steering assist, radar adaptive cruise control when you're not in the hands-free mode now, which I love. It works in a lot of areas, and Super Cruise works everywhere. I've used this so much now. It's so safe, in my own opinion. You do obviously still have to pay attention to the road, otherwise it will disengage, because if I block the sensor right here, I'll show you what happens. It'll start getting a little bit angry with me. Starts blinking there, and then it's going to say Super Cruise disengaging, red light, and then it disengages there. Take control, can't see your face. So yeah, it won't let you do like looking over to the side of the car there, but otherwise it's a really great system. You can go in and adjust your stuff, turn on your massage, for example, like this one comes with standard, and really enjoy the vehicle. Now this one has the pretty nice, generally AKG speaker system. It has Dolby Atmos technology, surround sound. We have speakers in the headrests here. I don't think this is my favorite application of this speaker system I've heard in the Cadillac EVs. It sounds great in the Lyriq, it sounds great in the Optic. It isn't my favorite here. I think if you go up to a premium luxury, you've got an even higher end system. Maybe you might want to listen to that if you're really concerned with audio, but for the amount of speakers in this car, I've kind of had a little bit of some time to get used to it over the course of this week, adjusting some of the stuff in the settings. It just doesn't feel like it fills the cabin as well. There definitely is a good Dolby Atmos effect, though. That's for sure. Though otherwise, if you are someone who is considering a Vistiq, I would definitely look at it. Or if you're just considering a luxury 3-row SUV in 2026, I would look at the Vistiq. It actually is a solid vehicle, and even if you're a gas buyer, this is definitely something you may want to look at. It's kind of replacing the XT6, but a little bit bigger. It's not as big as an Escalade, not as expensive as an Escalade, and you're really getting a well-built, luxurious, great-looking SUV. I would like to see, you know, the NACS port come standard. Maybe we'll see that for 2027. I would like to see more range out of this vehicle for the price point. So a lot of the competition coming in right now is at least doing 350 plus miles of range. I think it could probably boost that up a little bit there. And I'd like to see charging speeds higher than the 190 kilowatts that are currently offered. Maybe 250 kilowatt range, 300. A lot of competition are coming in here with 800 volt architectures now, with higher and quicker charging speeds and a lot more capability in those areas. That's not to say this is an outdated vehicle. It is not. It's actually very high tech. It's very new, and will still be very relevant and very normalized for, I would say, the next 5 years generally, till we finally eventually switch over to those more higher advanced, quicker systems here. But this is a great vehicle to consider in this class if you want to upgrade even from a Lyriq. If you think that's too small for you, I think this is a great choice. Nonetheless, as we navigate one of the biggest potholes I have ever seen, if you guys can see this in a second right here. Oh, they patched it. Okay. That's actually great. That was not patched 2 days ago. As anyways, guys, thank you for joining us on yet another tour and review over at Allcarnews. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, follow for more, and stay tuned for more reviews and news coming soon. Cheers.